Hey Sag, how are you this week? This is going to be a lovely weekly reading for you. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. Really appreciate it. So lovely to see you guys on board. Let's find out what's happening for you this week using the mythic tarot cards Sagittarius. These are the cards using the Greek myths, so we'll delve into some of them. Let's get straight back into it, shall we? And find out what's happening, what energy is around for beautiful Sagittarius this week. And we have straight up the Queen of Swords. Okay, so first up I get a sense that with a certain situation, I'm just going to get it a bit closer because she's feeling a little bit like a bit isolated is the feeling I'm getting. Okay, almost like she's feeling just a bit lonely and isolated. It's feeling like a situation has occurred where she's feeling a bit on the outer, a bit left out in the cold. So let's find out a little bit more, but I feel like it's kind of almost by her actions and almost by her choice, but she kind of wishes it was otherwise. So she was I feel like she's kind of rejected and pushed someone away, and now kind of feeling a bit like, okay, now I'm on my own. So let's find out a little bit more, Sagittarius. And here we have the Page of Cups. So this is Narcissus. So this is looking when Narcissus first saw his reflection and fell in love with it. And what I'm really drawn to is actually the reflection. Okay, the reflection. And what I'm getting with this situation is that what was reflected back to you, you weren't liking what was being reflected back to you within this situation. It might be that you liked someone and you weren't kind of getting that reciprocal feeling back of what you wanted. And so it's kind of like you've almost turned cold to that person and now you're kind of all alone. You're feeling a little bit like you've turned your back, or you've kind of said no to someone and kind of pushed them away. There's this sense of pushing someone away because you weren't happy with what you were seeing reflected back about you or how you were feeling. So maybe some love wasn't feeling reciprocated. You liked someone, you weren't getting something back. Or within a work situation, within a group, you weren't feeling the love that you thought that you deserved from workmates. You weren't happy with what you were receiving back in your perception of it. Okay, Sagittarius, so let's come on now. We have the Nine of Wands. So this is a situation, this is saying that what I'm getting is if this is related to a group, so this is usually the card of you're nearly at your final destination. It feels like everything's exhausting. You're not going to make it. And then at the last minute you can, and see how it feels like at the moment you're in this turbulent water, but the serene water's just over the other side. But what I've really drawn to are all these little swords waiting for you on the other side. So what it feels like for me is that this is more of an internal process that's happening with you within a group situation, within a situation where you've been a little bit hurt by maybe you haven't been receiving the positive things that you've wanted from a situation. You've been a little bit hurt, so you've kind of withdrawn and shut yourself away from the group or a person. And I feel like they're there, even though it's almost like a sense of saying they're still there, they still burn a flame for you, they still like you, okay? You're the one that's shutting yourself off from them. It's not the other way around. Okay, as soon as you're ready to open back up again, they're going to be there, and the relationship's going to bounce back again to what it was. So this is you closing yourself off to them. This is more of an internal process for you, and it feels like you're just processing a lot of turbulent emotions at the moment that you need to process it before you kind of go back to the island, back to the status quo, back to the group, back to opening up to the dynamic of whatever this is that you've turned away from. So whether it's a relationship, workmates, group of friends. And then here we have the Death card. So we have Hades, the god of the underworld. And I'm really drawn to the fact that two things. His hands open. So like I said, I think that Death card means that there's a transformation and a change happening. So the fact that his hands are opening means that, like I said, things are not, it's not necessarily like the situation has totally changed and you've lost everything. There's still everything there for you when you decide to come out of this. So, and because I'm also drawn to see the sun in the background rising, the new dawn, it's like saying you'll, wherever, I feel like you're going through the death, the change is an internal process within yourself, processing how you're feeling about a situation, a person, and it's you're changing, you're processing and changing how you're approaching them. And then you're going to come back out with open hands, and death is there going, okay, it's all still there waiting for you. So this very much feels like an internal process for me. And I'm really also drawn to these little guys down here. It feels like it's a group situation. There's more than one. So see, there's these three guys their offering their flowers back up. So there's kind of like the way they've felt about you hasn't changed. The way you felt about them and the process you've gone through, because it's almost feeling like you've felt a bit rejected, that has changed. And I feel like you're going to come out open arms again. So you've kind of shut yourself off from a person, a situation, and you're going to come out because you've been hurt, and then you're going to come out and transformed and open armed again. So it's a little bit of a journey happening for you this week, Sagittarius. And here we have the King of Cups. So this is a beautiful card. So this is the poet, the sensitive, creative soul. This is Theseus, who was considered to be one of the greatest poets in the world. He's got his lyre in one hand, a musical instrument, and his cup holding up. So it's almost like saying, here, after you've come out of the process, a cup upright, feeling good again. I've got my lyre. I'm willing to express myself and be part of the group again and be part of the dynamic again, whatever that represents. But see how he's not wanting to dip his toes in the water. The water's just a little bit away from him. So it's this sense of, yeah, I'll come back in and interact with everyone, but I'm not going to it's this sense of I've been hurt in the past and I'm not necessarily going to delve into my feelings. I'm not going to, I don't want to go too close to how I'm feeling about something. I'm not going to open up emotionally to somebody that doesn't feel safe right now. So even though you've kind of come back into the fold, you've kind of come out of your little internal processing of something has hurt you, you're coming back out, but you're reticent about dipping your toes back in the water. The water is your feelings, your emotions, getting in touch with how you're feeling and letting someone in again. So it's a sensitive soul. And it can also represent a Cancer, or this could represent a man in your life that is like this, that has been through this as well. So it definitely could be someone new coming in, or it could be you as you're coming out of the situation. Either way, you're attracting this. This is qualities within yourself. So if this is how you're feeling, you might attract this person into your life. Okay, Sagittarius, what else have we got for you? The Three of Pentacles. And so then I feel like it's just back to business as usual. So I feel like this is I feel like this is you, this is Daedalus, and this is all your little workmates. For some reason I feel like this is it feels very much like a work situation or a group situation. They're all back to okay, back on board. They might not even realise they've gone through this kind of major internal process, but it feels very much like, okay, and if you're like, okay, now we're willing to offer things, let's move forward, let's just keep going. We're bringing things to you, let's just get the job done, let's just have this initial completion, success, let's keep going. So it's just, the words I was just given was business as usual. So you kind of just go back into the status quo for a while and just operate in that, a little bit like the King of Cups that we had, where people might not even know that you've gone through all of this. You've gone quiet for a little bit, and it's actually been a big thing that you've been processing, a big emotion. So I feel like this is just a nice little way of transitioning back into normality again. and just kind of been able to go back, and it feels pretty happy and safe place for you to be able to go back into. There's no emotions, it's just more about work and everyday life rather than relationships and how you're feeling about something. So I hope that's making sense to some of you guys out there. I'm going to pull one last card, and it's already pulled out. Okay, so this is a message from your soul, your higher self, whatever you would like to call it, up above. I call it the soul. This is a little parting message. And here we have the Ten of Swords. So this is basically meaning that a situation has ended. I'm just trying to get the Death card is what I was trying to find. See how the sun's rising? The darkness, the dark clouds of the Ten of Swords is parting and the sun is rising again. So, and we've got Athena, the goddess of truth, coming in. She's put an end to a situation. So whatever this situation is, and hey, the Death card also represents an ending, but I felt like that was more of an internal processing with that card. This card feels like also externally as well. So we see these dark clouds are just parting and the sun's rising. Athena's come in. These guys are the Furies. They represent the end of a curse, the end of something that's been happening for a long time that's actually been hurting you. And it could be a relationship. It could be just a pain and something from the past that has kind of really hurt you, and it's felt almost like a curse. So this is a curse of generations of family in this story. And Athena's finally come in and said, enough, we're not going to curse this family anymore. The gods are putting an end to that. So this is actually, it looks kind of dark card, but it's actually a really positive card from your soul, from up above. It's saying this is finally ended. This is actually, so this is why there's this feeling that there's this need to kind of withdraw and process it yourself and not necessarily share it with people around you, because it's a big thing inside of you. So this feels like something that has hurt you a lot in the past that might have repeated through your life. It could even be past life if you believe in that sort of stuff. So it's definitely, the positive thing is that, so you could be feeling a little bit like that. You could be feeling a little bit like exhausted, a bit like the Nine of Wands, a bit like, this is similar to that card, like you're about to hit the rocks and you feel like it's exhausting and you're not going to get to the end, the final end. Well, it's saying the ending is there and you are going to get to the end and you're going to come out the other side with the new dawn. And not only is this just an ending of an immediate situation, this is an ending of a situation or something that's caused you pain, that has been a long-standing something in your life. This is the end of a pattern. So it's really, really positive, but it might feel like you kind of been hit for six while you're processing it. But you need to understand that the new dawn is rising, and it's actually a major, major ending. So I think, Sagittarius, that's really, really positive for your life, and I hope that makes sense to some of you guys. If you would like to hear more, I will be uploading these at the same time each week, so please subscribe or like. And if we're leaving here, then I hope that you have a good week, and I hope you really take care of yourself, take some time out, understand what's happening to you guys, and the new dawn is coming. So take care. Bye.